Finally, 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 The Rock has come back to the WWE Championship. Okay, yeah, that was a terrible impression. Anyways, moving on. So, let's talk about a Royal Rumble match that's very questionable. Not because the match itself was questionable, it's more like the politics surrounding it. So, we're here to talk about CM Punk, the 434-day champion, reigning, defending, all showing WWE champion against the People's Champ, The Rock. So, there was a lot of stuff building up from this match. During the events of Raw 1000, The Rock would announce that he would challenge whoever was the WWE champion at Royal Rumble next year because of reasons. Yeah, they never gave a reason. It was because he was The Rock, and therefore that made sense. And so, yeah. And then during that night, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena had made their claim that one of them will challenge him at the Royal Rumble, and that's where the politics start to come in. So The Rock, in CM Punk's eyes, had disrespected him, not acknowledged him being the champion and all that, and really didn't give him the respect, and therefore this would kickstart the rest of his run as the top heel in the company, as he would go on to defend the title after turning on the WWE Universe, even though CM Punk had legitimate reasons to be a heel, even though the legitimate reasons were more like a face, because why on earth is the Hollywood major star who hasn't wrestled for a title in over a decade suddenly being given a title opportunity? So this would lead into, throughout the rest of the year, you eventually had CM Punk defending the title against Big Show, Cena, Ryback, and that was a big wreck. And this would ultimately culminate with the debating of the Shield, and taking out Ryback, and taking out Cena, and taking out all the potential competitors who would have threatened him. CM Punk would get injured at TLC and therefore could not compete at the event, and therefore had to go ahead and defend his title on January 7th. And this build up between The Rock and CM Punk actually was pretty great, in my opinion. Because the promo interaction between The Rock and Punk was like, The Rock felt like an amateur when compared to Punk. Like, CM Punk's iconic moment, "Your arms are just too short to box with God," and whatnot. It's like the only time you felt like someone who could go toe to toe with The Rock that wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that was CM Punk, in all honesty. However, on the January 21st episode of Raw, the Shield would attack The Rock after Rock proclaimed his desire to defeat CM Punk and win the title. In this incident, so the moment when Rock was bleeding profusely from his mouth and coughing up blood, yeah, he suffered internal bleeding. He confirmed that on Twitter. So, yeah, he was heading into that match with a busted up body heading into it, thanks to the Shield's triple power bomb. And sure enough, Vince McMahon would later threaten CM Punk that if the Shield get involved in his title match, then he would be stripped of the WWE Championship. So CM Punk would call out the Shield and tell him not to get involved because that's gonna make sense. And this would eventually this would eventually lead into their match, and how do I say this delicately? I absolutely love this match. I really probably shouldn't, but I really love this match. The story was there. The quality was there, in my opinion. This was a 4-star match by Dave Meltzer, even. And that's saying a lot, considering The Rock doesn't wrestle all that much, and he had to get carried by Punk a lot on a couple of occasions. And there were moments when you could tell CM Punk was giving direction, like moments when they did rest holds, like you would notice Punk was trying to give direction for The Rock, and there was a botched moment where the table broke before The Rock bottom, so that was uncomfortable. But yeah, this match was a quality performance. It was probably Rock's best match he had since he came back from to part-time wrestle. It would be his last time doing quality matches. Like they would do a rematch at Elimination Chamber, but for a lot of people they say it wasn't as good. I'll probably look at that and then be the judge for myself. Um, but then when The Rock was about to do the People's Elbow, the Shield turned off the power of the arena and triple power bombed him through the table, causing CM Punk to get his victory, and Vince threatening that we're going to strip you of the title because even though Vince is portrayed as a complete and utter moron in modern times, because reasons is how Vince operates, he knew what he somehow now knew, oh yeah, it's the Shield, like everyone can tell. And but before he could, however, The Rock would declare, "You're not taking it from him. I am." And they would restart the match. The match would go on for like a couple more minutes, and CM Punk got some shots in. The Rock would go ahead and spinebuster him, followed by the People's Elbow, winning the WWE Championship for the 8th time, and CM Punk losing his 434-day reign. And yeah, a lot of people really hated that because they were like, this was so basically the idea was to because earlier in the night, like, here's the thing about this match. This was prime Vince favoritism with Cena and The Rock. Basically, WrestleMania 28 happened. Rock defeated Cena. There was a lot of issues between the two. So Vince booked another match for next year if he could, and this time it would be for the WWE Championship. And earlier in the night of Royal Rumble, John Cena had eliminated and won the Royal Rumble. Yeah, this was the first time in a while that the world title would main event over the big gimmick pay-per-view event name. So, so yeah, we kind of have that. Also, CM Punk would be furious about that. Like, so the thing that makes this match interesting is that originally there was, according to CM Punk's podcast with Colt Cabana, which you have to now find on YouTube because it's been deleted from Apple's iTunes and it's been discontinued. Here's the thing. Apparently the idea was to have either CM Punk or Daniel Bryan hold the title and fight The Rock and lose. If Punk did not want to commit to turning heel because he knew what that would do to him, because he was the biggest star going on in that time. He was selling more merch than Cena. He was making a huge amount, hands over fist in cash. He was making money. He was selling out shows. He was doing big things. And then he knew if he turned heel, especially in the high point of this whole face run, his merchandise sales would go down because kids would not want to pay to see the bad guy and whatnot. And a lot of things would derail. But Vince was convinced by The Rock. Yeah, The Rock was responsible for this. But apparently they gave an out that if you don't want to do it, we'll drop the title and give it to Bryan. And then Bryan can do the job that you're supposed to do. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why some people I've seen some people express the 434-day reign was mostly protected because it was The Rock. Because really, The Rock requested it. He wanted to fight a heel heading into Royal Rumble. And when Cena had won the Royal Rumble match, the outcome was made even more obvious because, well, Cena just won it, so what's the point in caring when you know it's going to go, that Rock's going to win? They're going to build up to another match between The Rock and Cena twice in a lifetime. We all know that thing. And to this day, a lot of people are still mad about it. Like, here's the thing I'm going to say. This was the first match I watched in the WWE Network when I first bought it. I am not kidding. Yeah, the minute I bought the WWE Network when it first came out, on the first night it came out, I went on my phone, and watched CM Punk versus The Rock. I have no guilt for that. because this was it. This was my mindset. I was still this wide-eyed, naive kid guy who loved wrestling and thought all these and while there was incorrect decisions, it was like, oh, it's not political filled. It's just management being incompetent. But then years later, I would learn the horrid truth that CM Punk's title reign was pretty much because of The Rock. The last half of it, the twice in a lifetime, also because John Cena, The Rock, and Vince had this idea. And one of the other things I had found out, I don't remember the old article, but I did recall the context of it. I don't know if the site's still around, but it was claiming that CM Punk's merchandise was still high, but then there was a noticeable lowering of its sales. And then it was said that the reason why CM Punk sales went down the tubes was not just because he turned heel, was because WWE was trying to protect Cena in their eyes. Like, they made more Cena merch than they made more Punk merch. So they could sell more Cena stuff, shove Cena in your face, and throw the CM Punk garbage to the side in their eyes, because John Cena is their golden boy. It's not CM Punk. CM Punk's the people's guy, but we don't like him, so we gotta favor the kiss ass we have. And we all know how that was. Like, Cena would get his 11th title reign at that time, and oh god, I was at that WrestleMania. Oh man. But yeah, out of all the matches Rock had in his last final matches, this was probably his best match with CM Punk at Royal Rumble. I'll see his rematch at a later date with CM Punk, but yeah. But yeah, even CM Punk fought against the idea of having him lose the title. Like, he kept pitching and pitching, like, hey, why not have me defeat The Rock? I take a break from Elimination Chamber to rest up because I'm banged up. Then I go ahead, drop the title in a triple threat match with Cena and The Rock. I get eliminated, and then I can just say, hey, I made main event of WrestleMania, even if it was just for 5 minutes. Because that's all he wanted. He was, and like Vince said, and it was said, Punk claimed that he was owed, like, how many solids? 3? And one of them, and really, Vince never cashed in on those solids. Like, CM Punk tried to cash in on those solids, but Vince was clearly not going to fulfill them because fuck commitments. But yeah, this was that's the problem with this match. Like, I like the match, I like the story presented to it, I like the big fight feel they gave it. The promo was their best promo in a long time. It actually felt like I was watching a big epic moment was about to happen with this match. And all the politics kind of cheapen it, because all the internal politics, you got the movie star Rock going ahead and telling people how to book the show. You got Vince trying to play favorites with Cena. You got Cena getting merch sales up because CM Punk was too popular, and we can't have multiple guys be top stars. That would cause a confusion for people, because the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era was a complete joke in his eyes. But yeah, so the very fact these politics have happened really cheapened the match. Looking back on it, I still watch it, but I feel like I shouldn't watch it for the right reasons in some people's eyes. Like, it's the same issue I had with Triple H and CM Punk. It's a good match in my eyes, but the politics surrounding it cheapens it, along with having too many subplots going on converging at once, when it really should not have been doing it at that time until way later. But that's a completely different story, and I'll talk about that one day. And so yeah, Rock would become WWE champion. He would fight CM Punk. Oh, one of the other plans was to have, like, CM Punk try to pitch the idea of doing the triple threat match, but like have him not wrestle at Elimination Chamber so he can rest up. But then they went ahead and did the Undertaker stuff, and well, a lot of people have mixed feelings about that match. Not the match, more like the story presented to them. And I'm still wondering what the story would have been had Paul Bearer not died, but that's a different matter. Rock's title reign would last for 70 days, and then he would drop it to Cena, because of course this has to be Cena. Oh, God. So yeah, um, this match, I love it. I still do. I still watch it from time to time. It's not a match I mind looking in watching from once in a while, but like I said, the context surrounding it is really the biggest problem for the match. Like the internal politics, the numerous promises that were broken, all the questionable choices they went with, the outside booking the show to the extent it was at. And while some will say having the world title be the main event over the Royal Rumble is a high honor, really at the same time it was kind of like, well, Cena won the match, so really what's the point in caring? So yeah. Oh, one more thing. CM Punk after Elimination Chamber would try one more time to go out to the WWE Championship, and it would lead to possibly the second best match in the Cena Punk saga that many people saw, and we all know how that went. Pile drivers even, and Cena doing a Hurricanrana. Oh man, that was those were crazy times, and probably not for the best. But so yeah, and this would ultimately end the Shield and CM Punk relationship. Like they were going to go somewhere with it, but then they scrapped it after the whole Paul Heyman reveal, and then they never went back to it. Then they did, then they stopped, and then they never brought it up again. So yeah, no idea, but I don't know how Punk feels now since he's with WWE backstage. I don't know how he feels now, and I'm not going to act like I know how because I don't know what he's thinking. So we'll just have to bet on chance and see what happens in the future if CM Punk ever did decide to come back to WWE in a wrestling capacity. But if he says he's at peace with himself on that, and heck, I'm surprised him and Rock kind of get along from time to time. Like the Rock even called CM Punk on the phone in the after Raw went off the air. Yeah, and Vince was reportedly pissed about that because of course he was. In fact, a lot of times nowadays, Vince seems to not really like The Rock because one time The Rock went ahead, interacted with fans who were cosplaying as famous wrestlers, even Hulk Hogan when he was banned, and Vince hated that, but he knew he couldn't do anything because it's The Rock. So, yeah. Yeah, those were my thoughts on The Rock versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble of 2013. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. If you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.